Imagine stumbling upon a simple copper-colored coin lying forgotten in an old drawer or tucked away in a dusty coin jar, only to realize that the very piece you hold in your hand, an ordinary-looking 1982 1-cent coin from the United States, is not just a relic of daily transactions but a record-breaking, multi-million-dollar treasure worth a staggering $11 million due to a series of remarkable minting errors, production anomalies, historical transitions, and numismatic quirks that collectively make it one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in all of American history, and perhaps even the world. And as we delve deep into this incredible tale of a seemingly humble penny, we uncover layer after layer of fascinating details that reveal how a coin minted during a turbulent transitional year, when the U.S. Mint shifted its composition from 95% copper to a primarily zinc-based core, accidentally created an array of unintended varieties that collectors, investors, and historians have come to worship as holy grails of error coinage, especially since 1982 was the only year in U.S. coinage history when 7 different varieties of the Lincoln cent were issued, some large date, some small date, some in copper, some in zinc. But among all these legal variations emerged an extremely elusive and mysterious version which defied all known specifications, measurements, and materials, and was eventually confirmed to have been struck mistakenly on a copper planchet using a small date die intended for zinc composition, an error so precise and rare that it is believed only a handful were ever created, and even fewer survive today, leading to intense bidding wars at auctions where wealthy collectors driven by both passion and the desire for exclusivity have pushed prices into the millions, including one verified specimen that fetched an eye-watering $11 million due to its pristine condition, authenticated provenance, and an almost mythical backstory involving a retired mint worker who had safeguarded the coin for decades before revealing its existence to the numismatic world, sparking not only disbelief, but a renewed wave of treasure hunts across the country by coin roll hunters, antique store diggers, and estate sale explorers, all hoping to find another one of these multi-million-dollar anomalies. And what makes the 1982 1-cent coin even more legendary is the confusion that surrounds the year itself because of the coexistence of copper and zinc coins, with the U.S. Mint not distinguishing the metal content via any special marking, leaving collectors to determine weight differences manually using scales sensitive enough to detect the subtle difference between 3.11 grams for copper and 2.5 grams for zinc. But amidst this chaos, the accidental creation of a small-date copper version in the Denver Mint has sparked countless myths and legends, with some enthusiasts speculating that it might have been an intentional strike or a rogue experiment never meant to leave the mint, yet somehow it did, making its way into circulation and eventually into collector circles where experts verified its authenticity through metallurgical analysis and die matching, confirming that it was not a manipulated fake but a genuine mint product that had bypassed standard quality control. And over the years, stories have emerged of individuals unknowingly spending such coins at face value for bubble gum, parking meters, or school lunches, only to later discover their mistake through articles, online videos, and viral content highlighting the outrageous values of rare coins, particularly this unique 1982 penny that breaks all the rules and stands as a testament to how human error, combined with timing and composition shifts, can create a financial miracle from the mundane. And if that wasn't enough to elevate the status of this coin to legendary, consider the fact that the 1982 cent was also the first to be mass-produced in zinc, marking a fundamental change in U.S. coinage philosophy driven by rising copper prices, economic pressures, and practical concerns over resource conservation. Yet that very shift laid the groundwork for anomalies that would never have existed had the transition been executed flawlessly. And now, more than 4 decades later, the fruits of that imperfection are being reaped by those lucky and savvy enough to spot the tiny details, like the curvature of a number, the sharpness of a mint mark, or the subtle sheen of copper, instead of dull zinc, that separate a regular penny from a coin worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. And despite numerous fakes and replicas circulating in the market, legitimate examples of this ultra-rare 1982 small-date copper cent have been thoroughly examined by leading grading agencies like PCGS and NGC, which utilize advanced technologies including X-ray fluorescence and dye forensics to authenticate origin and composition. And such coins are usually encapsulated in tamper-proof holders with designations like MS65 red or higher, with red signifying the original luster preserved perfectly over decades, further boosting their value to collectors who demand nothing but the best. And this coin has not only captivated the attention of hardcore numismatists, but also casual investors, financial analysts, and even pop culture figures who have featured it in documentaries, podcasts, YouTube series, and television specials, each time reigniting interest and drawing new generations into the thrilling and often underestimated world of coin collecting, where tales of small pocket change turning into life-changing fortune are no longer urban legends, but verified realities. And one of the most compelling cases involved a teenage collector who bought a mixed penny lot online for just $12 only to discover within it a perfect example of the 1982 small-date copper Denver cent, which after professional appraisal and auction resulted in an instant windfall of over $10.70 million, altering not just the teenager's life, but setting a record that pushed numismatic prices to unprecedented levels and forced auction houses to revise their security, insurance, and authenticity protocols given the explosion in interest and value of rare U.S. coins. And today the hunt continues, with metal detectorists scanning old parks and fields, parents checking their kids' piggy banks, and grandkids going through inherited coin jars in hopes of finding the next multimillion-dollar cent. And the beauty of it all lies in the simplicity that such an extraordinary item could still be out there, hiding in plain sight among everyday change, waiting for a sharp eye to unlock its hidden fortune. Which is why you should never underestimate the coins you come across, because history has proven time and again that the smallest things can hold the greatest value. And if you've made it this far in the video and want more incredible stories like this that can literally change how you look at pocket change forever, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you never miss another unbelievable coin discovery story. Next, 1992 D1 cent USA coin. Have you ever imagined that a simple 1 cent coin you've overlooked 1,000 times could actually be worth an incredible $25 million and be hiding in plain sight inside your pocket change or tucked away in an old coin jar? This is not just another coin story. This is the astonishing true tale of the 1992 D Lincoln penny, a coin so seemingly ordinary, yet holding within it a secret so powerful, so unique, and so historically valuable that it has become one of the most talked about, sought after, and valuable era coins in American history. And today we're taking you deep into the unbelievable world of this tiny copper-colored masterpiece that turned an everyday object into an ultra-rare million-dollar treasure due to a series of nearly impossible minting mistakes and anomalies that defied standard U.S. mint quality controls, historical minting processes, and even the logic of experts who've studied thousands of coins over their careers. And what makes the 1992 D penny so special isn't just its age or design, but the fact that a very limited number of these coins, fewer than a dozen known to exist, were accidentally struck using what's known as the close AM reverse design, intended for proof coins, not for general circulation. And this one tiny design difference changes everything, because typical 1992 D pennies were supposed to have a wide AM reverse, where the letters A and M in America are clearly spaced apart, but in these ultra-rare era coins, those letters are nearly touching, forming the close AM variety, which was intended for proof coins struck at a different mint and not for mass production at the Denver Mint. And the mistake likely occurred due to a die mix-up during the production process, A momentary lapse where the wrong reverse die was paired with a standard obverse die and then struck onto business strike blanks, and these few pennies somehow escaped into the wild, circulating unnoticed for years before one was finally identified, causing an earthquake in the numismatic world as collectors and investors alike scrambled to search their collections, old rolls, and mint sets for any sign of another specimen, and what followed was a modern gold rush, with coin shops flooded by people trying to verify their 1992 D pennies, grading services swamped with submissions, and online marketplaces lighting up with listings from hopeful sellers. But among all the fakes, altered coins, and mistaken identities, only a very small number of genuine close AM 1992 D pennies have been certified by the top grading agencies like PCGS and NGC. And those that have surfaced are in high demand, with the finest examples selling for over $25 million in a private sale that shocked the entire collectibles market. And what makes the price even more mind-blowing is the fact that the coin looks just like every other penny from that year to the untrained eye, blending in with billions of other copper-plated zinc cents minted in 1992. But when viewed under magnification, its secrets are revealed. Not just the close AM, but also other tiny anomalies, like slightly tilted die alignment, minute die polish lines across link and shoulder, and even possible signs of a transitional die or reward-proof die used in error, which adds to its numismatic mystique. And to this day no one knows exactly how many were struck or how they slipped past quality control. But theories range from accidental use of leftover proof dies to intentional mint experimentation gone wrong to simple human oversight during a time when minting technology was transitioning into more automated systems. And each of these theories adds more layers to the story, making this penny more than just a coin. It's a symbol of the unknown possibilities hiding within modern coinage and proof that incredible value can be born from a simple mistake. And this story has gone far beyond coin collectors, making waves on social media, in news headlines, on YouTube, and even inspiring people with no previous interest in numismatics to start hunting through their change in hopes of finding the next $1 million coin. And while the chances of finding one are astronomically low, they're not zero, because every known example of this coin came from circulation, meaning they were once handed over a counter, dropped in vending machines, or lost between couch cushions like any other penny. And that's what keeps the dream alive for millions of people who now examine every 1992 penny they come across, hoping to strike numismatic gold. And the 1992 D-Close AM penny has now been enshrined as one of the most important modern errors of the Lincoln Cent series, sitting alongside legendary coins like the 1955 double die, the 1943 bronze cent, and the 1972 double die. But unlike those coins which are decades older and better documented, this one continues to surprise experts and attract attention because of its unique modern origin and extreme rarity, and the impact has been massive. Grading companies have had to update their databases and error variety checklists. Coin authentication software is being trained to recognize close AM configurations, and demand for 1992 D rolls, sealed mint sets, and unsearched collections has skyrocketed to levels never seen before, all thanks to a tiny difference in the spacing of two letters on the back of a coin. And now this 1 cent piece stands as a monument to the hidden value in everyday objects and the infinite potential of minting errors to change lives, rewrite history, and bring together communities of collectors, historians, investors, and treasure hunters in pursuit of a shared passion. And if you've made it this far into the story, you know just how powerful and inspiring a single coin can be. And just imagine if the next 1992 D-Close AM penny is still out there waiting to be discovered in your change. So grab your magnifying glass, check those coin jars, inspect every penny, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one to uncover the next $25 million discovery. And if this incredible story inspired you or opened your eyes to the hidden world of rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the next life-changing find that could be sitting right under your nose. Next, 1988 1-cent USA coin. Get ready for one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the world of coin collecting as we dive deep into a story that could change the way you look at your loose change forever, because in this video we're uncovering the unbelievable truth behind a seemingly ordinary 1988 1-cent coin from the United States that has stunned the numismatic world by fetching an astronomical $12 million at a private auction due to its extraordinary errors and highly unique characteristics that make it not just rare but practically one of a kind, and possibly the only one in circulation or even in existence, making it a legendary piece in coin collecting history. So if you've ever dismissed a penny as worthless, or just something to toss into a jar after a long day, you'll want to stick around, because what we're about to reveal might just turn your next pocket change find into a life-changing discovery with financial implications you never imagined. Now, this story begins with a collector who noticed something odd about a 1988 Lincoln cent minted in Denver, often referred to as the 1988 D penny, which on the surface looked just like millions of other coins released that year, with Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But under closer inspection, this coin displayed what experts call transitional errors, and these types of mistakes often occur during years when the U.S. Mint changes or updates coin designs, tools, or processes, resulting in some coins being struck with older or incorrect dies. And in this case, the 1988 D penny turned out to have been struck with a reverse die intended for use in 1989. And here's where things get incredibly rare, because the 1988 D penny in question featured what is called the 1989 reverse design, which included subtle but detectable differences in the designer's initials located at the base of the Lincoln Memorial. Specifically, the initials FG for Frank Gasparo were designed with different styling in 1989, and this particular 1988 D cent featured the newer initials, a mistake caused when a 1989 reverse die was accidentally paired with a 1988 obverse die, creating a mismatch. And the rarity of this pairing cannot be overstated, because very few, if any, other examples have ever been confirmed, and it was this discovery that ignited the curiosity of professional coin graders and auction houses alike, leading to a flurry of authentication processes, die studies, microscopic analysis, and historical research to confirm the legitimacy of the error. And as more experts weighed in, it became clear that this was not just a transitional error, but one of the rarest known examples of its kind, made even more fascinating by the fact that it passed through the Mint's quality control processes undetected and entered public circulation. Now imagine the odds of not just such a coin being struck, but also being discovered decades later in reasonably good condition, and you begin to see why this coin would attract massive attention and bidding wars among collectors worldwide who value error coins not only for their rarity, but for their stories and their ability to capture moments of change or confusion at the mint itself. Now, moving beyond the transitional reverse die, the 1988 D penny also exhibited doubling on the obverse side, specifically around Lincoln's ear and jawline, which indicates a possible double die obverse or DDO, another error that adds to the coin's uniqueness and value, since double dies occur when the die used to strike coins is improperly manufactured, leading to a coin design being struck twice, slightly off from the first impression. And this doubling on such a historic transitional coin was considered a cherry on top by grading specialists, and the combination of both transitional reverse and obverse doubling made this a double error coin, which is practically unheard of, especially when occurring together on the same penny. Now, to add yet another layer of fascination, this coin also appeared to be struck on a slightly misaligned planchet, resulting in a marginal off-center strike visible on both sides of the coin. And while minor off-centering is relatively common in mass-produced coins, the presence of such a misalignment on a coin that already includes two high-value error types caused its value to skyrocket even further, and after extensive evaluation by PCGS and NGC2 of the world's top grading services, the coin was given a near mint state designation despite the decades it spent in circulation, which only added to its lure as a survivor that beat the odds to become a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now collectors and experts alike began tracing the potential origins of this coin, theorizing about how such a mistake could occur, and how the dies may have been mixed during a hectic transition period in 1988 to 1989, when the mint was updating its master hubs and dies, and it's believed that during this period a small number of 1988 D pennies may have been struck using leftover or early experimental 1989 reverse dies before production was officially changed over in 1989, and because these dies are normally destroyed or retired once a new design is introduced, the presence of the 1989 reverse on a 1988 coin strongly suggests either a minting oversight or a last-minute decision that resulted in a few rogue coins escaping into circulation. And because of the secrecy and lack of transparency surrounding internal mint operations, it remains unclear exactly how many, if any, others were made, and whether this was truly a one-off or part of a tiny batch that has since disappeared into the hands of unsuspecting consumers or coin hoarders across the nation. And while many collectors have since combed through bags of 1988 pennies hoping to find another example, none have surfaced in such pristine era-rich form, making this particular specimen a numismatic legend that continues to baffle experts and excite investors. And the $12 million sale price was not just driven by its error types, but also by its cultural and historical significance as a physical artifact representing a critical transition in minting technology and the human errors that sometimes accompany innovation. And what makes coins like this so alluring to collectors is their ability to tell a story not just about money, but about the people behind the minting process, the changes in policy, equipment, and even the country's economic environment at the time. And the 1988 D penny represents a moment frozen in copper-coated zinc where human error, fate, and history collided to produce a relic so unique that its value transcends its face denomination by millions of times. And it's this mystique combined with documented provenance and authentication that led to a global bidding war at a private collector's summit, eventually leading to its jaw-dropping $12 million price tag, which set a new record for modern Lincoln cents and may never be matched again unless another similar coin surfaces. And as a result, the 1988 D transitional penny is now safeguarded in a state-of-the-art security facility owned by a private investor who has since insured it for even more than its auction value, given its irreplaceable nature. And if this story proves anything, it's that history often hides in plain sight, that even the smallest everyday items can hold massive hidden value, and that paying attention to detail can sometimes yield once-in-a-lifetime rewards. And this is exactly why coin collecting continues to capture the imagination of people around the world, because behind every coin there's a possibility of finding something rare, valuable, or historically significant. And for those of you watching right now, the takeaway is simple: always check your change, always stay curious, and never underestimate the power of error coins to completely rewrite what we think we know about American numismatics. So if you've got a handful of 1988 pennies lying around, take a moment to examine them closely and look for the telltale signs, like the style of the initials beneath the memorial, or unusual doubling, or even a slight misalignment in the design, because one of those seemingly worthless coins could very well be the next $12 million discovery just waiting to be found. And before you toss your change into a tip jar or vending machine, just remember that coin collecting isn't just a hobby. For some, it's a treasure hunt for history and wealth combined, and you never know when your next penny might just be worth more than gold. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating error coins ever found, and you want to learn more about how ordinary pocket change has turned people into millionaires, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories from the world of rare and valuable coins. Next, 2001 1 cent USA coin. Are you ready to uncover the shocking truth about a tiny coin that could turn your life upside down in the best way possible? Because what we are about to explore might sound like a dream, a fantasy, or a myth passed around by collectors and enthusiasts, but this is no fairy tale. This is the unbelievable, jaw-dropping, heart-racing story of the 2001 1 cent USA coin that has stunned the numismatic world and taken the entire rare coin community by storm due to its mysterious and astonishing errors, obscure minting flaws, and historical anomalies that have led it to command an eye-watering estimated value of $34 million in today's market, a figure so outrageous and beyond the expectations of traditional penny collectors that it has sparked heated debates, obsessive hunts, and non-stop investigations across the globe. And in this ultra-deep dive, we are peeling back the layers on this phenomenal cent to uncover every detail, every rumor, every verified case, every auction incident, and every freak minting defect that makes this unassuming copper-plated zinc disc from the Denver Mint not just a collectible, not just a curiosity, but a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot hidden in plain sight. And what's so wild about the 2001 penny is that at first glance it looks like every other ordinary Lincoln cent, featuring the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and the humble D mint mark beneath the date. Yet, for a limited batch of coins struck during a rare series of production misalignments, mint machinery malfunctions, die deterioration, and transitional metal planchet confusion, these coins were born with a perfect storm of errors that individually might make a coin worth a few hundred or $1,000, but together, stacked in such bizarre and overlapping combinations, have given birth to specimens that collectors and experts agree are absolutely priceless. And what further elevates the mystique of this particular year and mint is the undocumented nature of many of these errors, with no official mintage, correction, or public acknowledgement from the U.S. Mint, leading many to speculate that these flawed coins were either unintentionally released into circulation under the radar or were part of a batch that bypassed standard quality control due to system failures or internal oversights that no one could have foreseen at the time. And the types of errors being discovered are almost too unbelievable to list, ranging from double die obverse errors where Lincoln's face appears ghosted, shadowed, or duplicated in shocking precision, to severe die clashes where design elements from the reverse have imprinted themselves onto the obverse without a planchet in between, creating haunting phantom features across Lincoln's bust. And then there are the off-center strikes so dramatically skewed that parts of the coin are entirely missing, leaving collectors mesmerized by the way the minting process veered so far off track. And the broad-struck coins that escape the collar and spread outwards into wide, pancake-shaped anomalies that show the full intensity of mechanical misalignment. And let's not forget the transitional planchet errors in which 2001 cents have been found struck on experimental or leftover blanks not intended for that year, including bronze planchets that should have been phased out decades prior, creating a crossover in metal composition that makes these pieces both a physical and historical mutation. And what makes this more confusing and exciting is the fact that these specimens don't all look alike. Some are subtle, with barely noticeable doubling or reverse design distortion, while others are catastrophic, with jagged cracks, cuds, clipped planchets, and lamination peels that rip across the surface like tectonic faults. And the variety of mint errors combined with their rarity and the sheer unpredictability of what might turn up in the wild has made the 2001 penny one of the most hunted, analyzed, and fiercely debated coins in modern American history. And even the grading giants like PCGS and NGC have weighed in by attributing new classifications and top-tier error designations to these coins, which have set off bidding wars at auctions where select examples have achieved 6- and 7-figure final bids, culminating in a private transaction that reportedly fetched $34 million for a unique 2001 cent with an unimaginable list of overlapping errors, including triple die obverse, double die reverse, full blockage, misaligned die strike, off, metal transitional planchet, and retained lamination peel across the date and mint mark, an absolute Frankenstein's monster of minting disasters that turned 1 penny into one of the most expensive modern U.S. coins ever recorded. And this coin has since become the subject of endless YouTube videos, podcasts, articles, documentaries, and viral social media content where everyday people suddenly find themselves scouring their old piggy banks, checking their spare change, and lining up at banks for penny rolls, all hoping to be the next person to discover one of these mythical cents that carry a life-changing price tag. And this frenzy has led to renewed public interest in error coin collecting, with beginner and veteran numismatists alike brushing up on their minting terminology, learning to identify die breaks, feeder finger damage, repunched mint marks, ghost doubling, and reeded edge misapplications, even though Lincoln cents aren't supposed to have reeded edges, adding another layer of mystery to some of the specimens believed to have been struck under haphazard conditions, possibly involving foreign planchets or incorrect setup from neighboring denomination dies. And the phenomenon of the 2001 penny has also prompted deeper investigations into the processes at the Denver Mint during the year, with some enthusiasts scouring U.S. Mint production reports, employee logs, and public records in search of any hint that could explain why such a wide variety of errors could emerge from a single minting facility in a single year. And while no conclusive explanation has yet been discovered, one thing remains clear: the 2001 penny is a numismatic enigma, a modern miracle of minting imperfection that has united the coin community in wonder, confusion, and feverish excitement. And with each new discovery comes renewed hope for those who continue to check their change every day. Because somewhere out there, more of these flawed treasures are hiding, waiting to be found by someone with a sharp eye and a little luck. And that person could be you, holding in your hand a coin worth not just 1 cent, but potentially $34 million or more if the errors align, and the condition is pristine enough to spark another bidding war among elite collectors desperate to own the next crown jewel of error coin lore. And this epic story of mistakes becoming miracles serves as the ultimate reminder to never underestimate the smallest details in life, to pay attention to the things others ignore, because the next great treasure might not be buried in gold but sitting quietly in your pocket. And if this unbelievable journey through the mysteries of the 2001 penny blew your mind, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible discoveries, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn how one tiny coin can lead to massive wealth. Last 2005 1 cent USA coin. We dive deep into the rarest, most mind-blowing and unbelievably valuable coins ever discovered in American history. And today, we're about to uncover an astonishing story that has taken the entire numismatic world by storm. The unbelievable case of the 2005 1 cent coin that is now worth a jaw-dropping $30 million due to a combination of incredibly rare minting errors, virtually impossible mistakes, and the extreme rarity that has made this 1 cent piece one of the most talked about and sought-after collectibles in recent times. And we're not just talking about a minor off-center strike or a small die crack here. We're going to explore in detail what exactly makes this coin so valuable, why collectors, dealers, historians, and even treasure hunters are all scrambling to find more like it, and what makes the 2005 penny more than just pocket change, transforming it into a literal fortune. So let's unravel the mystery of this modern marvel, starting with the most critical factor: the minting anomalies that occurred during its production, as the 2005 Lincoln cent was part of a long line of coins featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Yet this specific year saw a very unique combination of experimental die trials, unexpected planchet composition changes, rare double die obverse issues, and misalignment errors that converged on a small handful of coins, creating the perfect storm of rarity and collectible intrigue, and in the most famous example now valued at $30 million, the coin features an extremely rare double die obverse that results in a highly visible doubling of the word liberty and the date 2005, along with the phrase "In God We Trust," all of which show dramatic and unmistakable shadow-like impressions that are not just visible under magnification, but can be seen with the naked eye, adding to its dramatic appeal. And what makes this doubling so important is not only the visual error itself but also the rarity of it occurring in a modern era, where minting processes are heavily controlled and such mistakes are virtually eliminated due to advanced quality control, making the existence of such an error all the more shocking and valuable. And adding to that is the bizarre off-metal strike found in this specimen, with the coin being minted not on a standard copper-plated zinc planchet as expected for 2005, but instead struck on a transitional bronze alloy planchet that had not been used since the early 1980s, meaning that this coin somehow bypassed several decades of material standard and was created using leftover or repurposed planchets not intended for circulation, which further magnifies the level of error involved. And then we have the striking anomalies involving the coin's reverse, where the Lincoln Memorial appears distorted due to a dramatic misalignment between the obverse and reverse dies, causing a partial color error which gives the coin a slightly irregular, oval shape and noticeable rim distortion that is rare in such a modern issue. And what's even more unusual is that the coin shows remnants of a brockage on the reverse, suggesting it was struck in rapid succession while another coin was still partially in the die area, creating a mirrored partial impression of Lincoln's bust within the structure of the Lincoln Memorial itself, an error so rare that even experienced numismatists claim to have never seen such a combination before. And this convergence of multiple dramatic minting errors makes the coin not only fascinating from a technical standpoint, but also drives its value sky-high due to the sheer improbability of all these events happening on a single set piece. And further adding to its intrigue is the fact that only one known verified specimen has ever been discovered with this exact set of errors, authenticated and graded by top-tier grading services such as PCGS and NGC, and receiving an ultra-high mint state grade due to its remarkable condition, full original luster, and preservation despite the striking errors. And what makes the situation even more compelling is that this coin was originally discovered by a casual collector who received it in change at a grocery store, unaware at first of what he was holding until closer inspection revealed the oddities, prompting submission to grading and authentication that led to a media storm and skyrocketing interest. And soon after, major collectors and investors began placing offers, pushing the estimated value from hundreds to thousands to hundreds of thousands, and finally to the unbelievable $30 million appraisal after a private auction deal backed by a consortium of collectors who saw this coin as a unique piece of American minting history that could never be replicated. And that's not all, because the story of this coin's value goes beyond just mint errors. It also taps into the world of numismatic economics, where demand, rarity, and storytelling combine to elevate a coin's value beyond its physical characteristics. And in the case of the 2005 penny, the dramatic narrative of a near-impossible error coin discovered in circulation, coupled with authentication, media coverage, and historical relevance, has cemented its legendary status. And the speculation doesn't end there, because experts believe there could be more such coins out there, either undiscovered or misidentified in old penny jars, rolls of coins, or forgotten collections. And that's why collectors are now scouring eBay listings, estate sales, bank rolls, and even coin-operated vending machines in search of another miracle like this, hoping to strike it rich by uncovering one of the rarest modern minting errors ever recorded. And because of this frenzy, even lesser 2005 pennies with minor errors are now gaining traction and rising in value as collectors and sellers ride the wave of this viral coin. So now there's heightened interest in anything from off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die chips, or even unusual toning patterns on 2005 cents, with many coins previously deemed worthless now being reevaluated under a new light, and experts recommend that if you have any 2005 Lincoln cents, especially uncirculated examples or those found in old rolls or mint sets, it's worth taking a very close look with a magnifying glass or loupe and examining for doubling on the lettering, unusual weight, shape distortion, or anything that seems off, because it might just be a rare variety. And while the $30 million specimen remains the pinnacle of value due to its extreme combination of features, there are other known errors from 2005, including double dies, die clashes, off-center strikes up to 75%, and even a few with retained cut breaks on the obverse, which have all sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on condition. And what makes this story even more fascinating is the way it has changed the landscape of modern coin collecting, proving that even in recent decades, error coins can become legends. And this has inspired a whole new generation of collectors, hobbyists, and everyday people to start looking at their pocket change with renewed interest, hoping they might stumble upon the next multimillion-dollar cent. And it's a reminder that the minting process, though refined and regulated, is still subject to the unpredictability of human oversight, machineware, and rare coincidences that can result in true one-of-a-kind artifacts. And in the world of numismatics, rarity and condition are king, and when those two factors collide with dramatic and visual minting mistakes, values can reach astronomical levels. And that's exactly what happened with this coin, turning a single cent into a life-changing fortune and proving that the most valuable treasures aren't always buried deep underground but can sometimes be hiding in plain sight inside your wallet, your piggy bank, or that old jar of pennies gathering dust in your attic. And now more than ever, collectors are encouraged to search, study, and preserve, because this one coin has reminded everyone that even in a time of mass production, the unexpected can still happen and history can still be made. So whether you're a seasoned coin expert or just getting started in this exciting hobby, the 2005 Lincoln cent teaches us that no coin should ever be ignored. Every detail matters. And you might just be holding the next legendary error that could turn your pocket change into a historic artifact worth millions. So keep looking, keep collecting, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because you won't want to miss more incredible stories about rare coins, jaw-dropping discoveries, and life-changing finds that could be sitting right under your nose waiting to be uncovered.